Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're reviewing the all-new Cadillac Lyriq. First and foremost, though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Jerry Seiner Cadillac here in Salt Lake City, Utah, for giving me some time with this new Lyriq. Now, I do need to mention that this particular Lyriq is a pre-production vehicle, and so this is not a perfect representation of the full production unit that people will take delivery of. So understand there might be some weird quirks and everything with the vehicle. But anyways, with that being said, I'll include a link to the Jerry Seiner Cadillac's website in the description down below if I didn't already say that. Anyways, let's get into the video. So we're going to start things off by going over the specs on the Lyriq. So we have a 102 kilowatt hour battery pack that's paired to a single electric motor setup. This has 312 miles of driving range, and then power outputs are 340 horsepower and then 325 pound-feet of torque. There is going to be a dual electric motor version as well that'll be all-wheel drive with quite a bit more power. Now, starting with the hood, it's actually pretty simplistic with the design. You guys can see we have a distinctive line there in the center and then a few more off to either side. And I think this actually looks really cool in this gray. Now, this is probably one of the coolest light tricks of the Lyriq, and it's this cool light show. So I'll unlock the vehicle, and it will take a second, but you guys can see the grille illuminates, and then notice with the daytime running lights, and then the headlights all come into place. Definitely a fun party trick right there. And then you guys probably noticed with the turn signal indicator here, it's kind of like sequential with how that works. And then here's kind of a closer look at the lighting. And then here with the whole grille as well with the Cadillac emblem here in the front. Notice we have a camera there in the center, and then you can see the silver trim down below. Now, finishing things up with the rest of the front end, this definitely has like a cool futuristic appearance to it. Now, coming around the side here, our tire and wheel setup is 275, 40, 22 in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you can see with the design, notice how the wheel is partially closed off to help out with aerodynamic efficiency. And I like those black inserts. I think they actually look really good. It kind of makes the wheel feel a little more upscale. Now, I've got these really nice blacked out fender flares here. Look at the Cadillac badge there on the side. Notice the mirror also blacked out. Do have some chrome trim at the top of the windows. We'll talk about the door handles a little bit later, but notice they're flush there with the bodywork, and then you can see the silver trim down below. So here's the charging port on the Lyriq. All you have to do is just press the Cadillac emblem and then it'll pop down. Now, something to mention is Cadillac is working on that like jerkiness that you guys saw there. So with the full production unit, it's not gonna do that weird thing. But anyways, when you're done, you just press that and then it'll lock into place. And then I guess I should show you guys the actual charging port here and everything, because it's got regular charging as well as DC fast charging, if you guys are wondering. But yeah, pretty cool setup there. And putting it all together, if you guys are wondering, this looks like it's similar in size to like the XT5, if you're wondering. And again, in person, the proportions and the looks just absolutely work. Now, here's our key fob for the Lyriq. You guys can see we've got our unlock function, our lock function, remote start, the opening here for the hatch, and then Cadillac emblem on the back. We'll press this a couple times and it'll pop right open. Now, going over the rest of the rear, you guys will notice we have a cargo cover already built in from the factory. And then notice we have these controls right here to lower down the seats. And then if we actually look underneath here, we actually have a little bit of storage space. And then you guys can see here with the plaques, notice the Cadillac emblem. And then when you're all done with the rear, just press that button right there, and that will slow lower the hatch right back down. Now, we have a pretty cool light dance here with the rear end as well. You guys can see starting it up. Again, takes a second just like the front, but kind of pops on. I don't know, I think that's fun. And then the lights come on down below. Now, another way to open up the rear is you can actually press the Cadillac emblem and that will pop open the trunk, which is pretty cool. But notice I can stop it wherever I want, and then you can press that and it'll lower it right back down. And you guys will notice we have our 450E badge here on it, and then we've got our Lyriq badge there on the other side, and then parking sensors here along the bottom. And putting it all together, this definitely just like has like a spaceship type appearance, and I think that Cadillac did a really good job with the styling. Now, when it comes opening the doors, you just press the handle here, and then the door will slightly pop forward, and then you just pull it the rest of the way. Now, actually popping inside, you guys can see really nice padding here at the top and then down below. Notice how it has this cool cream color to it. And then this is actually the handle to open up the door. The finish on that looks fantastic. Got our window control here with our door lock and unlock. And then look at the rest of the trim and everything for the speakers. Definitely another cool aesthetic, and there's that. I love the look of the headrests here in the back, definitely unique. And then you can see the piping down the center, and then notice perforated down the center as well. Now, sitting here in the back, legroom's actually fantastic. And then you guys can see we've got a storage pocket here, and then look at the stitching all down the center. And then we've got a little storage pocket there. We've got some vents here in the center, and then a bunch of charging ports as well. And then headroom back here is also good. And notice that we do have a cup holder armrest. Now with the front door, same thing, press the handle, but notice that you actually have a little handle here to grab. Now when it comes to the front door panel itself, you guys can see really nice padding here, and then look at the padding down below with all the stitching. And then we've got our heated and cooled seat function right here. Notice in normal GM fashion, you actually can do just the back of the seat if you want. Memory seat functionality, your power seat adjustment here. And then this is actually for your massage seat function. I'll show that a little bit later. And then we do have all of our window controls here with our mirror adjustments. The mirrors do power fold in. And then another speaker for the AKG sound system. And obviously I can't show that in the video because copyright infringement with music, but I can tell you really solid sound system overall. And then we do have blind spot monitoring with the mirror. And then you guys can see we've got a speaker here in the headrest. That's definitely a cool look. And then again, perforated all down the center portion here with the seat. And since the adjustment is on the door panel for the seat, then you don't have anything on the seat itself. And then notice that says Cadillac right there. And then you guys can see here for the parking brake, that's your lane departure, and then your auto hold right here. And then this is actually for the vent. Definitely kind of a cool looking control. Now here's a quick look at the steering wheel. You can see really nice leather trim all around. And then yes, this is going to come with Cadillac's Super Cruise system. If you guys are wondering, they're kind of trying to put that on everything nowadays. But anyways, we've got voice command controls. We've got phone controls here on the steering wheel, volume controls as well. And I accidentally pressed a button there. But anyways, and then you guys can see here on the other side, you got like your heated steering wheel button as well, which is pretty cool. And then notice for like our adaptive cruise control, for example. And then we have a little paddle here for the regen, if you want to make that more aggressive. And then you guys can see here for the turn signal / windshield wiper stock. And then this actually has a column shifter similar to like Mercedes-Benz, except you kind of have to like pull it up. So it's kind of hard to show on camera, but like I'm kind of pulling it forward a little bit and then up. I'm not just, because look, if I just do that, it doesn't do anything. And then you just push in for park. So definitely unique. Now, just like the new Escalade, this actually has a little touchscreen here on the side, which is pretty cool. So notice you can do like the headlights, for example, and then you've got like a little trip computer here off to the side as well. And then you can actually change what the gauge cluster itself shows, which is also pretty cool. And well, speaking of gauge cluster, here's the map view. Here's what the clean view looks like. Here's the energy view. And by the way, this loads up really, really fast. And by the way, this is a pre-production car. Like I said, it says it has 100% charge, but it doesn't right now. That's why it says 218 miles, but 100%, again, pre-production car stuff. And then you just have like the regular gauge there. And then notice it still gives this little Google Maps thing, which is pretty cool. And this actually has 4,200 miles on it. So this pre-production car has been driven quite a bit. Now in reverse, we do have a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel here, and resolution with the camera itself is actually really solid. As for the rest of the infotainment system, first off, response time with the screen is fantastic, and this is pretty much identical to like the Escalade infotainment system. Pretty much. Shortcut bar is in a slightly different place, but also I can control it with a dial if I want, or like some shortcut buttons. So if you don't want to use the touchscreen, you don't have to, which is also a nice feature. Notice we have the auto park assist, which is also pretty cool. But yeah, I think that they did a good job with the screen. And let's dive into some different menus quickly. So like the charging, we can pop into that. And so you can see, there you go. That's a little bit more accurate with everything. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, I think that this made this really easy to use. Let's see what ambient lighting colors we have. If we have a bunch. Oh, that's cool. You can actually change quite a bit with this. It's my first time in this Lyriq, and I'm having quite a riot here. So sorry if you guys don't really care, but so far, I like it. So I told you guys about the massage seat function earlier, so I pressed that button and notice it pops up with it. So I can just use the dial to go through, which is also another neat little thing. Now, the controls tab in the infotainment system is very important because this is where you control stuff like for the doors, windows, and all that kind of stuff. And also, how you can open up the glove box itself. And then you got your one pedal driving, for example. So remember that the controls tab is a very important tab that you want to remember. And well, speaking of that glove box, you guys can see really good storage space lined with felt, and you've got some like nice padding here up above it and on it. And then look at the vent right there. That also looks great. And then you guys can see all the padding on the dash. So we've got our dual zone climate controls down below. I'm glad that we still have physical buttons for these so that you don't have to dive through the infotainment system. I think that's also nice. And then you guys can see again with the vent control right there. Again, feels really high quality. And then down below, we've got this for some storage space, which, yeah, pretty easy to use. And we actually have like a little USB down there, it looks like. And then tons of storage space because it's like a floating center console. And speaking of floating center console, you can see this is the dial to control the infotainment screen. So pretty straightforward with that. Got some shortcut buttons in front of it. That's actually your volume control. Again, I'm glad that Cadillac still gives you an analog volume control, so you don't have to, dive through infotainment screen menus, and then look at the finish here on the cup holders. That looks great. And then with the center console, it's like magnetic with the attachment, so you just kind of like pick it up. You guys can see here, that's for your wireless phone charging pad. And then we've got quite a bit of storage space in here and really nice padding on the top. Now this does have the rear view camera mirror, which you guys know I'm a huge fan of. It's a nice bit of safety tech. And then this does have a full panoramic sunroof, which if you press this button right here, that will close the sunshade for it, but we'll just leave that open. And so yeah, another nice feature there. Okay, so this being a pre-production car means that I can't drive it, but I do have to take it back to its original parking space here. So we're going to quickly take it back. And what I can tell you is it does make a cool humming sound like most electric vehicles do. And the other thing to note, these seats are really comfortable. And I'm actually a big fan of this as an EV. Now, I think that more people are gonna be excited about the all-wheel drive version, obviously. But, you know, this is gonna be great for people that live in climates where, you know, it doesn't snow all the time like here in Utah. I mean, there's literally snow on the ground as we speak. And so, yeah, overall, I think that Cadillac did a really good job with the Lyriq. I think the styling is really good. I think that the interior is really nice. Again, this is a pre-production car, so like I understand that certain elements are gonna change a little bit once we get to full production, but I think they did a really good job with that. And, you know, I'm excited to drive one once I have a chance. I probably will only be driving the all-wheel drive version because being Utah, I doubt Cadillac is gonna send out the rear-wheel drive version as the demo vehicle. We'll see what happens. Maybe I will drive the rear-wheel drive version, but let me know what you guys think about this new Lyriq. I'm hyped after seeing it. I think that this is like perfect for Cadillac because you have like the quiet luxury of, you know, having it being, you know, electrically powered, and it's got all the like good stuff that you want from Cadillac's other vehicles like the Escalade and everything. So good job. And we got to finish things off by saying way better than a Tesla because I mean, look at this. Like, I feel like it goes without saying. I mean, look at this interior. So, I mean, come on. Tesla cannot compete with this. Come on. But anyways, a huge shout out and thank you again to the Jerry Seiner Cadillac here in Salt Lake City, Utah for giving me some time with this Lyriq. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you guys.